Hey fam, so I want to leave you a note of encouragement. I just erased the first video because I was like, hey, you know what? I just want to make sure I say this correctly to you. There's two things that I want to make sure that I communicate right now. It's that you're being forced to be mad, and then you're being forced to feel like you're alone. And the encouragement in this is quite simple, actually. Well, everybody's pushing the narratives of white against black, and you know white supremacy and white privilege, and all these things are supposed to ignite um, racial tension and use as a means to gain control over people's minds and thoughts and their hearts and their emotions. It's, you see the ploy, you see what it is. I mean, we all understand what police brutality is. I mean, we're smart people. We're also to understand too when there's a desire to cause people to be divided, and that's actually what we're seeing right in front of our faces every time we cut the news on the TV on. You got to acknowledge your white privilege, or you have to be a black victim. I mean, seriously, it's absolutely to the point where it's actually stupid now. But I know that you see it, and I also know that you see too that your feelings in this may be like you're by yourself, when in reality you're not by yourself. There's a lot of people that think just like you, a lot of folks out there that feel the same way as you, have the same ideas as you, and those ideas, they're basically being squashed. People are trying to squash it because it's for their better good that you don't share. And understand this, okay? The agenda is always real. I mean, you see it every 2 4 years. People are shooting for power via elections, and that's actually what's happening right now. This is what this whole thing's about, and people don't want to admit it, but it really is, and it's unfortunate. But this is what people use to capitalize on situations in society to gain power, and that's what's happening. And so it just drives a narrative, and it drives a narrative of the division between people. When in reality, people aren't that divided. In fact, one of the things that I want to kind of remind you here of, and be encouragement too, is that people actually are really thinking through what's happening right now. And they're seeing what's happening in different areas of this nation. They're seeing how people are reacting to one another. They're seeing how folks really do want to understand. And that's actually commendable, because folks do want to understand. But then when they're passed to and into guilt and victimization, that's another, and shame, that's just another level of the wrong side. Because you can be a person who really wants to understand without taking on some shame because somebody gives you a new title for what you look like, and the amount of melatonin you got in your skin. Okay, your skin color determines where you should be as far as a victim or guilt-ridden. That's just a farce. So I want this for you today, and I want you to understand that there's more to this than meets the eye, and you're not by yourself. I'm getting hit up more times by folks who I do know very well, folks who I've known as quite acquaintances, and folks who I don't know, and they're all asking the same questions. And basically the gist of it is, we're really not alone. We really are not by ourselves. And I want you to be encouraged by that. There are more people who are discerning something. Something inside your spirit and soul is telling you that there's something just not right happening. And the numbers, the way things are playing out, they don't add up. And see, that intuition, that is, I mean, really, it's the Spirit of God working in you. And what God's given you is the ability to discern right and wrong. And also to understand that if somebody places something on you, you get to own it, or you don't need to own it. Folks want to place on me this victimization because I'm a black person. I will never own that. I never owned it before. And you have the choice, if you're white or whatever your ethnicity, your skin color, whatever it is, you get to own or not own what people say about you, what they want you to believe. There's a narrative that they want you to take as your own, and you don't have to buy into it. And that's why I'm greatly encouraged. I'm greatly encouraged by what's happening behind the scenes. Because like I've said before, there are more people on that couch than there are screaming on the TV, yelling about what you deserve, yelling about what you didn't get, yelling about all the other things that are wrong in society. There are folks who actually are looking at this and going, this is a dang farce, and I see through it. Now, is there police brutality? Yeah. Is it turned into a whole racist thing? Yeah, that's what it's turned into, because some people want to control you. They want to control what you think, how you react, and what it is that you say. And understand this too, okay? There's a lot of symbolization, a lot of symbols here with our masks that we're supposed to wear. And believe me, I still wear my mask, but I'm basically holding my flag because I want to hold the flag. But there's a thing here that you have to understand what's happening psychologically. If you can only see but you can't speak, somebody has power over you. And that's what that looks like. Now, I'm not saying not to wear your mask. I'm not saying that. But understand there's people out there. Understand that there's people out there that are using that as a tool for control. And they want to control what you think, what you say, what you think, and your ideas. See, a part of this that's not being really discussed is how the Marxists are using this whole thing right now, George Floyd and anybody else as well too. They're using it all as a means to separate and to divide you, to make you believe that somebody else deserves more than they have, or that somebody else deserves what somebody else has, and that you owe something to somebody else. You don't owe nobody nothing. You don't owe nobody nothing. And I want you to be free from that, because there's freedom. This is what I believe, okay? I believe that there's more people out there who understand that they're not going to be taken for a ride. And I believe that you are standing for your freedom, but you're trying to do it in your incremental ways, and I respect that. And I also respect the people too who want to identify and really understand what what blackness actually is. That's commendable. It really is, honestly. Because to stand in somebody else's shoes, to know what's really took place. I had a friend of mine tell me about what happened to them when they left Vietnam. And believe me, I had never heard the stories. It was crazy what they escaped. Socialists, communists, what they escaped. It's crazy. And just to sharing that story, that's beautiful. That's part of humanity. So here's the deal, okay? I want you to do two things. I want you to take, you know how you guys know me, how I preach. I want you to take two things. I want you to do two steps. When you see something on the news, on the media, or the mass television, our screens and stuff that try to elicit emotions in you, understand that they're trying to drive you to a place where you are controlled, where you just say, I just want it to stop, I'll do whatever you want, I just want it to stop, I just want it to stop, I just want it to stop. That's actually what they're driving toward. And it's not nothing about the issues that are actually happening. They want to drive you to a place emotionally where you are absolutely depleted, and you can't rationally come to a conclusion about things because you're always peaking, you're just so tired, and you just want it to stop. That's actually the goal. And if you don't know that, then I hope that I expose that for you. So I want you to take a step back. When you see something that makes you emotional, just step back and maybe give it 2 days. While everybody else is screaming from the hilltops about, this is wrong or this or that, just stay quiet. I don't know if you remember this or not, but earlier in May, late April, I basically was tapping my watch, and I did several posts where I just said, I'm just waiting. And what I was waiting for, after Ahmaud died, I was like, okay, let's just wait and see what's going to happen. And of course it did. It did, okay? Now the next thing I want you to do is I want you to know that you're not by yourself. There are more folks out there that are thinking like you, that dream like you, that hope like you, and that are seeing like you. Because you're discerning something as well as a lot of people as well too. There are more folks who see it, more folks who understand it, and now are able to put their finger on it. That they're being played, that they're being led down a path to destruction. There are folks who are neo-Marxists right now, Marxists to their core, who are trying to set the nation up one against the other so that they can gain power. And they're doing it through racial means because they believe that that's the way to get it, is right through black people. Because if you don't know this, black folks, they dictate culture. A lot of times here in the United States, we do. And that's something that is actually pretty amazing. Take that for white privilege, right? Okay, so one thing that you need to know is that you're not by yourself. There are more people that think like you. And you can stand with us. You can stand with the people who desire just to understand and learn, but also desire not to be pulled into the emotional roller coaster that they want us on. You don't need to be on it. You don't need to be afraid. But most of all, you're not by yourself, and you don't need to be mad. Take the step back. Do what you need to do to be in a comfortable place for yourself, and don't feel selfish about it. Just take the step back and take in what you need to do to have your feet settled on the ground. You're more than your emotions. You're more than the anger. You're more than the fear. You're more than the loneliness. You're more than that because God made you that. The joy, the love, the peace, the patience, kindness, gentleness, self-control, temperance, all that I learned because of my faith in Christ. But all of that you get to learn right in the actions of all these people trying to force you into their realm and what they want you to feel, what they want you to believe. So I need you to do those two things and just take the steps, do it one at a time, and learn in these situations that we're in right now, okay?